Hi, my name's Andrea Capere, and you're watching Mission NonProfit. Each month, we connect with local organizations and agencies that are making a positive impact in our communities. We all get sick. When that illness becomes a cancer diagnosis, the last thing that we want to worry about is how we're going to pay the utility bill. That's where the Mayday Foundation comes in. So we've invited founder and executive director Amy Rowley and secretary Kate Scriven to discuss their important work. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So tell us about the Mayday Foundation.
Sure. The Mayday Foundation was started about a year ago, and the purpose was to help families locally here in Thurston County who are struggling with paying their household bills due to a parent's cancer diagnosis.
Mm-hmm. And how did that organization come to be?
So I am actually a breast cancer survivor. I am just about close to my 2-year anniversary, which is exciting. And as I was going through my cancer treatments, it was a real struggle. But my husband and I had flexible employment, and we had ample funds saved up, and we also had grandparents in the community that could help us with the kids. And it was still really challenging. So just through my cancer treatments, I had the chance to talk to a lot of healthcare workers, and just to find out what would families be doing that maybe didn't have the same resources that we fortunately had. And there just weren't a lot of options out there. So with my business background, I knew that I could make a difference in this community by starting a nonprofit that could support families like ours that are in a situation where a parent has cancer and they're really just struggling to pay their household expenses as well as their medical bills. The Mayday Foundation supports families with real practical and immediate financial help. We're paying rent, utilities, gas, groceries, kind of everything that the family needs in order to keep afloat. And we believe that no family should be thrown into bankruptcy or forced into homelessness as a result of a parent's cancer diagnosis. So we're filling that short-term need until a parent can get back to work.
Mm-hmm. So you saw some gaps, and you're hoping to fill that.
Yeah.
So Kate, how did you get involved?
Well, Amy and I have been close friends for a long time, and offered as much support as I could through her cancer treatment. And when she was inspired to create the Mayday Foundation, it was something that I knew I wanted to be a part of, not only to support Amy in this new endeavor, but also because there are so many needs that are not immediately recognized. When you have an illness, especially cancer, it can impact you so far outside that financial coverage that you get from your insurance. Some people don't even have the awareness of what their deductible might be until they're faced with having to pay that in full, like in a week. So being inspired by Amy's journey and wanting to participate in finding solutions for our neighbors who are facing these same things but maybe don't have the financial resources or the community support. Maybe they're new to our area and they don't know where to turn. And so I knew I wanted to be a part of expanding that.
Mm-hmm.
Kate's one of 8 board members, and everyone has a business background as well as having a connection to the community. But more importantly, they all are willing to challenge my thought processes and to make sure that I'm really on the same track. Because I think when you're doing something on your own, it's really important to have that feedback and that critical thinking that comes from a really solid board of directors.
Mm-hmm.
And our board has a lot of diversity in it, and that has been a really intentional part of building Mayday in this first year, having people who come from different backgrounds and bring different skill sets, so that when Amy brings ideas and brings challenges to the table, we each offer a different perspective, and that ends up giving us a really well-rounded way forward.
Mm-hmm. And you said it was 2 years since you ended treatment? Or
Since I started.
Since you started treatment.
Yes.
And then you just went right into starting.
Well, I was on the couch for a while, but kind of the way most people's cancer treatment work, at least for breast cancer, is that you have chemo and then surgery and radiation. And so you kind of do the nastiest part up front. So I would say it was, I sort of started formulating the concepts around the Mayday Foundation fall of 2017, and then we launched January 2018.
So that is that 1 year anniversary that you were just talking about. So
yes.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell me about some of those successes that you've had in the past year.
Sure. Well, in 2018, we helped 14 local families to stay afloat. About 55% of our distributions went towards rent and mortgage payments, and those were paid directly to landlords or mortgage companies. And then the remainder of the funds, the remaining 45%, was spent on utilities, gas, and groceries. Happy to report 100% of our families stayed in their homes. The kids stayed in their same schools. They were able to not be upended by moving, and nobody filed for bankruptcy. So those are some really exciting goals that we accomplished last year.
Those are huge successes.
Yes, very big. And it's very gratifying to know that not only are we filling those gaps, but we're helping them propel forward from treatment or diagnose into hopefully a secure spot when they come out the other side.
What we found too is that the majority of our families, right around 85% of our families, had never asked for help before, and so this was new to them. And so sometimes I would have to coax them to really tell me what exactly they needed. But I think that's one of the areas that we really excel at is talking to families and making sure that we're providing the financial resources for what they really need, not what we think they may need or where we think they might need help. But helping families that have never asked for help before is it's new to them, and so talking and just trying to determine how we can alleviate stress and hopefully free up money so that they can pay their medical bills and not end up in a toxic financial situation.
Yeah.
There are many things you never would think about that a family needs during that time. If a parent is at home with toddlers, let's say, they can't care for those small children in the way that they would love to be able to care for them, but with other bills, daycare might not be an option, or grandma doesn't live in the same town, and they don't sometimes even know what to ask for to help with that. And so there's been a lot of creative brainstorming and being able to say, have you thought of this? We could offer, we can pay for these things. Even to be as creative as transportation costs to get you to and from the cancer center for your treatment. So the Mayday Foundation not only is coming in with financial support, but also some advice and suggestions on things that might just make a big difference in easing that burden.
And through the last year, I'm sure, you'd also talked about your thought process being challenged, and it's just, when it's a new organization like that, we grow. So was there anything that surprised you along the way, or any new types of funding programs that you developed as a result?
Yeah, I think there were lots of check boxes on IRS forms. That part was always interesting. But the whole infrastructure was built this past year too. So along with helping 14 families, which far exceeded my goal and my aspirations, there was all the infrastructure, all the legal, accounting, building a website, developing social media channels. All of that was built as well. So I think in terms of surprises, there's always a little thing that pops up. But I think if anything, I'm just so pleased with the support from the community. Yes. The funds that were raised came from over 150 different individual and corporate donors. So there wasn't one, big gift that propelled us forward. It was a lot of people making meaningful contributions, and because they believe in helping their neighbors and they believe in giving locally. And I think that is such a wonderful testament to what community means here.
Yeah, absolutely. The growth that we saw over this first year was well beyond what we had sort of set as our initial goal as a board, a fledgling nonprofit, and it's been extremely gratifying to see people respond. I think our mission resonates with people. Most people have know someone currently who is experiencing cancer diagnosis, treatment, recovery, and they've witnessed the emotional and financial and physical toll it takes on people. And so for the majority of our community, they can identify with what we're trying to do. And I think that makes it a personal way to give.
So 14 families, that's huge. And you exceeded your goals. So what are your goals in this second year?
Yeah, so great question, Andrea. So our goals is to keep doing what our community needs. We'd love to help more families, but on the flip side, we hope no more families need help.
Right.
It's kind of a awkward situation because you're saying we hope somebody gets diagnosed with cancer.
You hope
we
that
hope
you
nobody
could
gets
end
diagnosed.
this nonprofit in the first place.
Exactly. But we all know that's not the case. So if there are families out there where a parent has cancer and is raising kids at home and they need the financial support, we hope that they'll turn to the Mayday Foundation. Even if it's short term, most of the families that we assisted only needed help for 3, maybe 4 months. So the short term assistance that really keep them afloat. We also have some exciting partnerships that we're developing in 2019, which are going to help raise the profile of the organization. I think when you're starting anything new, just telling the mission and getting it out there and telling people that you're around is a really important part of everyone's job. So that'll be a goal. That is a goal in 2019, as well as diversifying the funding so that we have some grants that are out there, as well as some other larger corporate contributions that we're looking at as well. We also have been very fortunate to be a strong partner with Providence and well integrated with the Cancer Center in Lacey. But we recently reached out to Kaiser, and we'll be helping some Kaiser families in this year as well. So that's been a really exciting development too, because then we can just help more families locally.
Yeah. Do you have any specific goals on the board that you'd like to reach?
I think as a board, we're really working towards being both good stewards of the funds that are coming in from our donors, and now expanding to grants and some corporate sponsorships and donors, as well as guiding how to expand our network. And so it's a very holistic process in our board. Our meetings are we eat dinner and we have a nice time together. But it's new, and there's so many things that we want to be able to do. And so sometimes it's a process of taking ourselves back a little bit. Yes, we're going to do this. Well, wait, hang on. We have to do this first. And so just being a check and balance for each other as we step forward. We have found so much support in the community that we ended up actually forming an advisory committee that's outside the board. And these are groups of volunteers who are excited about Mayday's mission, and they have wanted to help. And so we also have ideas that come in from this group it's sort of our army of volunteers, and they are such a huge part of Mayday's success and spreading Mayday's message and getting what we're trying to do out to more people. So they've been a great help.
So tell me about those volunteer opportunities.
Yeah, so the next one coming up is our Mayday Basket fundraiser. So kind of goes with the theme, where you can order a Mayday basket, and one of our volunteers will put it together and then deliver it to the house of a friend or family member that you want to bring a little cheer on May 1st too. So we'll have that order form live on our website here later this spring, and it's a great opportunity too for families to get involved. We had a fair number of kids helping last year to assemble the baskets, as well as helping to drop them off and just bring that cheer to other families around our community. And then we're also partnering with Providence and the Capital Bicycling Club on June 24th with a bike race that starts and ends at the Cancer Center in Lacey. And this is a race they've done together for a couple years now, and Mayday will be part of the logistics and the organizing efforts, but also there's a fundraising component added to the bike race this year. So that piece is new, and we're really excited to be the recipients of those funds. So if people are looking for ways to give back to our cancer community, that's another great way to get involved and to volunteer your time.
And so giving is not only limited to that period of time. So how can people give to you?
Yeah.
Well, we have a website. You can visit us online, social media channels, and so spreading the word is a great way to actually encourage more people to give. So going out and finding us online and liking our page, and in our website, you can directly give straight through the website. And at any level that feels comfortable, every dollar makes an impact for a family, from buying a winter coat for a child to paying a mortgage. So we just encourage people, if they want to help, any level really does impact our local families.
Yeah, and 100% of the funds stay locally, and our overhead is virtually zero. So donors can feel confident that the dollars that they give are being used specifically for the purposes that we've described here today.
And so with just a few minutes left, what additional campaigns or information can you share with us?
Yeah, I think we're just really excited to be a new nonprofit, be a new organization, and be supported by this community. We're giving to the community. We're also supported by the community. And that just feels very heartwarming and very gratifying to me. And we're excited to be adding the bike race with Providence and the Capital Bicycling Club this year. And I think just we're going to keep looking for ways that we can contribute to this community and to make it easier for families that are coping with cancer.
And you did mention the website, but
Yes.
you're on social, I
Yes, so
assume?
you can find us at maydayfoundation.org. You can also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Okay, great.
Yes, yeah, and I just reiterate what Amy said, that we're thrilled with the support we've gotten. There's room for tons more, and we would like to include as many people in our community who feel called to support our mission through all those channels online. And I think too, we feel really strongly that keeping these dollars local is impacting our community by keeping people in their homes, having them avoid financial situations that may cause houselessness or cause bankruptcy, which is very disruptive, not just to their family, but it spreads out in a ripple throughout our community. And so by coming in with short-term interventions, we feel like that impact is not just to that family, but we feel like we're making impacts that extend. And we hope people feel value in that greater mission as well.
Great. Well, thank you both for coming on today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
That's all we have for you. You can see Mission Nonprofit on Channel 77 on Sundays at 4:30 p.m., Tuesdays at 7 p.m., Thursdays at 7:30 p.m., and Saturday at 6:30 p.m. You can also catch us online at tcmedia.org. See you next time.